welcome to LadyGang Quickie. I'm Becca here with Jack and Keltie and a refreshing ginger ale. Ever since Keltie got on her ginger ale kick.
It wasn't a ginger ale kick. She thought she discovered ginger ale.
True, just like barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
She's a pioneer. Prince Derek just made me the most delicious, refreshing ginger ale, and I haven't had a ginger ale in years.
With the bubble ice in the special little
I
glass.
need that. Yeah.
But remember when we were in Florida, we found out from the guy that worked at the 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
if you mix Sprite and Coke,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same.
It's not the same.
I think that was
it did
Also,
taste the same to me.
It kind of tastes the
similar.
same. I will tell you this as the queen of ginger ale. Every brand is so different.
Yeah.
Like cola is kind of cola.
No.
Oh.
Orange pop is
You
kind
literally did that whole Diet Coke
I know. You're
reveal.
right. That just like an
No.
off-brand ginger ale is so different than the Canada
It's
Dry
not good,
ginger
yeah.
ale. Like
Canada Dry is where it's at.
Canada
is.
knows what's up. Whether
The
it's made in
OG.
Canada or not. But I feel proud of us.
I do too.
I don't even know.
I don't even want to know.
So hello everyone. Today we're doing Ask Us Anything. So we went on Instagram and we got all these weird questions from the ladies and they are very strange. Some of
Okay.
them are happy, some of them are sad, and we're just like it's the most random, but feel free to tangent.
Okay.
Very on
Okay.
brand for us.
She says,
She.
husband is successful, but I still don't know what I'm doing with my career. Do you have advice?
Number one, I think first let's have gratitude for the fact that one of you
Yeah.
is doing well, right?
Boom.
It is
Oh yeah.
much better than if both of you were floundering right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that is the case a lot. So have gratitude for that. And also look at that as a benefit because it means for you to be able to figure out what you want to do, you have the support and the safety net of him and not just needing to get something like a survival job.
Yeah.
So I think that there's this whole myth around timing of like when everything's supposed to be figured out. Elise Lunan actually did a newsletter today regarding this fake timeline we have for ourselves and these expectations for certain like decades of our lives. I actually think it's a gift to sort of be at a point where you don't know what to do as an adult because it can be so boring if you have found your thing at 25 and you're just continuing to chug along.
Yeah.
So just like start getting curious. Think about I always talk about my manifestation list. It's never for me. I mean, when Keltie forces me to make it like concrete things I do, but for myself, my therapist has always said, don't write down the concrete thing. Write down the feeling you want to be feeling.
Yeah.
During this job.
Yeah.
So in your career, write down a list of things that you want to feel every day. Inspired, creative, productive, whatever those things are, a sense of community or be left alone, be able to work remote. Like write down those types of things and then you'll be and stay curious. And I do think that those things start to come to you if you ask the universe.
And I think one of the best things about our LadyGang community is there's been so many questions like this that people post about in the Facebook group. There was one the other day that was like, I'm in my late 30s. I am so freaking single. Like, please send me stories of meeting somebody later in life. So if you posted this, I guess, in our Facebook group, like you get so many stories of people that started their career late.
Yeah.
Like it can happen to anybody. And like, to your point, I'm sure you're probably in your mid 20s, mid 30s or something like that. Like you're a full grown adult now. I'm sure your likes and dislikes and what like brings you joy has changed. So now you can kind of dive into something that really speaks to you rather than something you're stuck in, I guess.
And then I would just say that my mantra is it's never enough, it's never enough, it's never enough, and then you die. Like I had this conversation with a girlfriend of mine who's like, I'm not there in my career. I'm not there in my career. As someone who is there in their career, I still don't feel like I'm there in my career.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's never enough. Even if you went and you were like as successful as your husband, then the two of you are going to be like, well, how could we get more successful? Or how could we have the second house? Or what? Like, so
and you also might not have any time to spend with each other. Like it might be a gift
it's like,
that,
yeah.
That's why it's important to focus on the way you want to feel in your
Yeah.
day-to-day
Yeah.
versus what it is that you want to achieve.
yeah. And
Okay.
also like, don't feel pressure just because it's like boss babe.
Yeah.
That you have to like have this super successful career. If you guys are financially secure, then, and you, if it's not like external pressure, then there's nothing wrong with not being a business owner.
But I do get like you go to parties and stuff and people are like, and what do you do? And you're like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But get crafty. Start an Etsy store. There's so many ways to like do something that like will fuel your creativity that isn't like having to get a full-time job.
Okay, Becca, any acting sneak peeks you can give us?
Sneak peeks, like
what's been up?
I talk about rejection every day on this podcast.
I know, but have you?
I can't say on this one. I feel I've given a lot of sneak peeks lately.
Yeah.
I admitted to not getting the Aaron Foster Netflix show recently.
Yeah.
So that's about all I'm going to give. I'm so sorry I don't have any other failures to share with you.
If it was a good update, you'd know because you would announce you're on a show.
I would go on Instagram Live at this point to get the word out. So there are no sneak peeks, unfortunately. There may be no peeks left to give.
No sneaky peekies.
Okay,
but thanks
Jack.
for your curiosity.
Yeah. Jack, how do you handle nerves on tour? I get so nervous giving presentations at work.
Drinking. I need like a glass of champagne before we start. And then also it's hard for me to tour. Like it's not where I thrive. I don't like being up on a stage, but I do it because it's like good for a brand and like whatever, but it's definitely not my favorite thing to do in the world. I kind of just leave it there.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm just like, okay, get through this hour and then you can leave it there. Don't overanalyze yourself. Don't overthink things.
Yeah.
And just try to get through it. I mean, public speaking is hard for people.
Yes.
It's like, it is terrifying. I don't really know how to get through it other than get through it, really. It's just like, suck it up. I have to do another speech at a friend's wedding and I'm like, ugh. Damn it.
Well,
that's where I really get nervous.
Yeah, I get the most nervous giving speeches at weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's ever asked me to speak at their wedding.
Never?
Never.
No. Really?
Wow.
Well, now I'm finally at the point in my life where all of my best friends are getting married.
Yeah.
So now I have to speak at every wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just wanted to chill, man.
And they're like, you know who we should get? That girl with the podcast. She talks real good. And you're like, bah!
Yeah.
What? Jack at shows is like, you can see her she's like, brave, does the show and then melts down.
Yeah.
Like every show. Brave. She holds it together all day. Brave, drinking, brave, getting doesn't like her outfit. Brave. She's like, brave. She does the show. You would never know she's not having the time of her life because you're so good out there. And then we get backstage and she just like, will either cry or weep or go in a corner or like, it's like all the, so if you have to do your presentation at work and then go in the bathroom and have like a little sulk, don't feel bad.
Well, it's like the introvert in me where it's like it really takes everything out of me.
Yes,
doing
and then you're
something
just
like that.
depleted.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it sucks.
Whereas I'm like, people love me. I feel full.
Yeah.
You feel empty.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. How do you know when you're ready for a baby?
I'm asking myself this question. I don't know.
When it gets to the point where you're getting old.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting. No.
I mean, I actually had to give myself I have to have a conversation with myself about it's kind of now or never. And I had enough friends tell me that they wish they had done it sooner because I have friends who had their first baby at 40, which is a beautiful thing because you get to have this whole career, this whole life, this whole adventure before. But my friend who had her first kid at 40 was like, she was born and I realized that I stole like 10 extra years I could have had with this perfect person in my eyes. Like, it's a catch-22, but that's, to be honest, the only reason Zach and I started wasn't because I necessarily was like, I can't wait to be responsible for human life and have my life turned upside down. But I just thought if this is something I know I want to do, I want to be able to do it as long as I can until I'm too old.
That's where I'm at.
Boom. Where are you at?
I'm thinking the end of next year. I've given myself a timeline. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I want to get through these things. I have to go to Japan before I get pregnant. Like that's like my thing. I need to make this trip happen. And then I'm like, I think at the end of the next year, maybe after like our festival that we're doing, like then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give it a go. I'm not excited. I mean, I'm not. It's so hard because I've never been the person that's like, I can't wait to be a mom. Like, I wish I could push it off another 10 years. Like, I really do. I feel like I have so much more of a life to live. But at the same token, it's like, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it soon. Yeah. And like get on board.
You don't need to, but
I mean, I want to.
Yeah.
Speaking transitions in life, especially career, how you went through and kept faith. This is so hard. So like a lot of people I know right now are getting laid off. Like it's been, I mean, the entertainment business as a whole is in the dumpster, but I think, tell me if I'm wrong, LadyGang, like I think the rest of all the other sectors are also in the dumpster. Like
Everything
we're in this recession.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends have been laid off, and it's this very weird thing because you work every day and you're like, I'm a hard worker, I'm a good person. And then to be like transitioning into something else, it's like that first day of school all over again, which like I hated. Like I don't like meeting new people, learning all the names, like, and putting yourself out there. It's just really, really hard. I would say that the most important thing to do is to not be desperate. So I think in desperate time, listen, if you're desperate and you have to go.
I was going to say the opposite.
If you have to go, make the money, do the thing. But like I have a bunch of friends right now who just took jobs with half their salaries just because they needed to, right?
Yeah.
And then it's that sensation has trickled into their being and they're like, oh, I'm not worth that.
Right.
Like that imposter syndrome of like, oh, I deserved this job and this salary. They were like, I got found out. Everyone found out who I really am, which is a loser, and I deserve this. And I think that you make really bad decisions. So it's like, if you have to take that job, but don't fall into the like, this is a family and this is where I'm going to stay. Take the job, get the healthcare, make the money, and then be in the next 2 weeks thinking about your out and finding that next thing.
I mean, we're in such a weird part of the world right now where like everything is tanking. So there's not even like a good place to pivot for anybody. There's no good industry to pivot to. So it's like a lot of people are in this like desperation mode. And I was going to say like, don't be afraid to like take the like Uber Eats job or take like a job to kind of like float you through to the next thing. Because it's like a lot of people, if you're so picky, you're never going to find a job because everything is crashing and burning right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have like a little humility and allow yourself to just be able to like push yourself through and support yourself.
But don't get stuck there. Don't
What
think
was the question?
The question is like career transition. Sorry. It's like how to not lose faith when like it's not going your way and you're like,
okay.
But it's like, it's not going like that's what's so, we were talking about it before. It's like everything is just,
I just
bleak.
saw something really inspiring on Instagram, and it was something about a woman who decided to go back to school. I don't remember if it was law school or med school, but in her 40s. And the way she did it, because everybody in my age and older, I have a lot of friends who were dancers, right? And that career is so short-lived and you're pretty much retired at 40, if not sooner. And I have all these friends who have this urge to do a new career part 2, but they're like, but then I have to go to school and that's this many years and this much money. And then how long am I actually going to be practicing? But this Instagram, I wish that I could pull it up, but it was like, so I took 6 years out of my life, but I still have 20 years to practice this new skill. So I am really inspired by people that are going back to school. If you have the ability to do so, going back to school and maybe getting a survival job like the Uber Eats or the DoorDash or the whatever, but to like bet on yourself. And also going back to school for something that you feel passionately about is like ensuring that the next chapter of your life is going to at least be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Did you graduate college yet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
Just college.
Proud of
graduate.
you.
Now
Thank
we're
you.
2/3.
Proud of you.
2/3.
I know this is about me, but I do want to ask it. Keltie, how does it feel to be you? Mom of 3, your life looks awesome.
Oh my God.
I'll have you guys answer.
What is it like to be Keltie?
It's something.
She has a beautiful life. I think it's I don't think it's overrated not having kids. You know what I mean? I think that I don't feel like you're just doing a highlight reel of it either. When I see what you're able to do with your life, travel around, take trips with your husband, take trips for work, spend a day out by your pool all day long, spend 3 days in your bed reading a book that you really want to read. Like, you're seizing the day with being childless.
Yeah, you really
You're not
are doing
sitting
it.
around sulking. You're like really squeezing every bit of that juice from that lemon,
Yeah.
Not a lemon. That makes it sound like it's bad. But you've taken life by the horns as a childless wonder, and it's a great life.
Yeah, you're kind of like the stereotypical. It's like you're a working lady, professional. You got to still do the things that bring you joy. You're getting in your wigs and getting dressed up and being able to have you time.
Yeah.
And then going on these extravagant vacations. It's really what you want when you think of a childless lady?
She's doing exactly what I would be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I need to work on really is just like connecting more with my friends. Cause my days, life is amazing. I do this thing where like I need to have 3 jobs at all times. So I'm so busy now that it's like I get up in the morning and I work out, and then like I work on LadyGang or my other stuff, like emails, and then I go to work. But we don't shoot the show till 5:30.
Yeah.
So it becomes this like 16-hour day every day.
Yeah.
And then it's like at night I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like doing anything. And then on the weekends we have stuff, we're touring or I'm booked on other things. So again, I'm just like, my issue is that like I want to go see a friend or have a hike with a friend, but it's like fitting that in. But what a problem.
What a lovely problem to
Ugh,
have.
I just want to hike with my, like Chris and I, it's actually really exciting because we're going to the Galapagos, which I told you guys, but we started watching all the documentaries, the David Attenborough, you know that guy? Oh my God, his voice is so amazing. And we learned about, there's only yellow and white flowers on the Galapagos because that's the color of flower that bees like, and they don't like any other colors. So it's like the Galapagos is this whole like survival of the fittest experiment, like literally happening on
so
Earth.
cool.
And so it's like, the way things came over there and then have adapted to being in the middle of nowhere and whatever, they're like, we don't need pink flowers because bees don't even like pink flowers without the human interaction.
Ooh.
It's like
untouched.
It is truly
untouched by man.
Darwinism.
It's so fun. Anyway, it's great to be me. Okay. I'd love to hear each of you in your journey to stardom. Just kidding. That'll be its own episode. How do you know?
What a journey mine has been.
Okay. We have so many LadyGang brides. Top 3 pieces of advice, wedding advice.
Oh my God.
Do an Evite. That's mine.
Oh my God. The amount of time that I spent on that damn invitation.
But that's because it's you.
Yeah.
I know. My advice
Don't
is
be
so
Jack.
specific
Don't be
to
Jack.
me because I'm a crazy person.
It's know thyself. That's the advice.
Yeah, know thyself.
Oh, yeah.
Either don't have bridesmaids or don't assume and expect your friends to do things and do work for free. Like, this is your day. If you want things to go the way that you want them to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't put any responsibility on anybody else. If they want to help you, then be gracious about it. But again, don't take advantage of people that you love just because it's your wedding.
Yeah. This is the advice I give. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but I wish that, I did know, I just had a bridezilla husband. If you don't enjoy having a birthday party.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy being the birthday girl, you're not going to enjoy being the bride.
Yes.
Unless you do it in a very specific way. So for myself, I don't like to do nothing on my birthday, but I want to do something that I can just like small, intimate, like maybe just, so it's like for me, I should have had a wedding with literally maybe eloping even, or just immediate family.
Yeah.
And even that would have been overwhelming for me. Every Thanksgiving I spend with both sides of my family.
Mixing groups.
I hate mixing groups, even mixing, like Zach and I's parents get along great. Our families get along great, but I still have anxiety when we bring them all together. Like, because I want everybody to have a nice time and take care of everybody. So if you don't like hosting things or hosting parties or hosting dinners or whatever, and you don't like being the center of attention on your birthday, then you're not going to enjoy being a bride.
And that's exactly what happened to me too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, because I don't like being the center.
But you liked all the creative.
I
you
liked the
wanted
creative.
to plan the party and wear the dresses and everything, but you didn't want any part of being the starlet of the night.
Yeah, well, it's like, I liked the attention, but it's like I spent all of my energy worrying if everybody was having a good time.
Yeah.
And I'd like not like, because it's number one, I had like a destination wedding. A lot of people spent a lot of money to be there. And I just felt so bad. I'm like, if somebody isn't having the best time of their lives, then like I took on that guilt. And like I had anxiety about that for months after my wedding.
Such a good note though, because I also remember feeling that even in my tiny backyard wedding that no one had to pay to go to. Yeah. And I remember looking around.
Like, does everybody hate being here right now?
Yeah. And
it's my fault.
Yeah.
Totally. I went up to the DJ and I was like, we need to play more dance music. And I was like, we're in the backyard. Like no one's we don't need Pitbull right now. Yeah. But I saw that my friends were just like kind of all lazing around the table and I was like, they're bored. That's what I thought. They're not having fun.
Yeah.
And then I just got so crazy about it.
And then I also think it's like, it's okay if it isn't the best day of your life. Like my wedding wasn't the best day of my life. I'm like, it was fun that I got to do all these things and obviously marry like my partner.
Yeah.
But it's like, was that I was too stressed out making sure everybody was having a good time. Like that's.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were doing your first look And you were like, everyone was hanging out the window and it was like just the most amazing thing. And then your wedding planner came up and it was like, I need $100 cash to tip someone in the middle of your first look.
Yeah.
What a journey that was.
I didn't know that happened.
And nobody had cash.
No, it was literally like Jared and I came around and like saw each other for the first time. And she came was like, we need to pay the photo booth guy now in cash. And I'm like, great. Thank you for ruining this moment. And that was like one of the only moments that I was like, I really cared about too. Yeah. Cause it was like an intimate moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
That was super weird.
That was something.
How do you know he's the one?
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't think you do.
I don't either.
I think I don't think that there's a moment like, I don't think there's a moment you're like, this is the guy.
No.
Like,
well, maybe for some people.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that some people feel that.
Oh.
But I don't think it's like I don't know if you have to have that.
Yeah.
I had a zing in my brain on Chris and I's second date. We were at a place on Highland and he was wearing a blue shirt that had yellow flowers, like a vintage shirt. And he was on the street and I was up on the curb and he was still so much taller than me. And he looked at me and he's like, I like you. And then I looked at him and I remember in my brain going, I'm going to marry this guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I had that feeling, second date. Then there was like 6 months of rigmarole.
Yeah.
And then we fell into a life together and then the life kept going. And I never really was like, he's the one ever again. But I just really like doing life with him.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing nothing, I like it. When we're doing something, I like it. He's nice to me, treats me well. Like I feel safe in that relationship. I don't have that gut feeling of like, one of my friends just went through a breakup and he's dating and stuff. And the things that he's saying about, well, I don't know, like then he kind of went cold and then he didn't call me for 2 days. And like all of that, I'm so glad that's over.
Oh my God.
Like
the guessing.
The guessing of like, am I allowed? And he's like, am I allowed to text him? Or my friend has a wedding in 2 months and I thought he would be a great plus one. I was like, yeah, ask him to be your plus one. He's like, is it too soon? I was like, if it's too soon, you're going to scare him off and then he wasn't meant to be. But like all of that, I'm so glad is over.
So hard.
That's something that with Jared, I never had because it was like, he decided, he was like, I'm going to be with this person and I will do anything it takes to like convince her to be with me basically.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know him, I would be like, you are gaslighting me. Cause it was like paragraphs of proving his love to me. Like
love bombing.
Or what did I say? Gaslighting? Oh, I meant love bombing. Yeah. Like in the beginning when we saw each other for the first time after 5 years or whatever. Yeah. It was the day that I left Warped Tour, paragraphs, the way they make me feel when you're sitting on my lap and like, it was crazy. And if it was anybody else but him, they would be like, this person is nuts.
Psycho.
Yeah.
They're a psycho. But he was just like, I'm going to prove my love to you basically. And he still does it to this day. So I guess like the not guessing and just the stability that I have with him is just crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Feel free to ask us any questions. Send us a DM. We love giving life advice. I mean, we have no good advice to give you, but we'll give you the advice. We learned something.
We'll give you advice.
We'll give you advice.
Advice.
Not good.
We weren't here for a long time, but we were
Here for a good
time.